Ismayil, thank you so much indeed for joining us. So Bulgaria and Poland have said in the short term they can deal with this cutting of Russian gas. But of course, summer is coming. What do you think is going to happen in winter? Are they definitely going to have to ask their citizens to use less gas? Who suffers more, industry or domestic users?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I think that Bulgaria and Poland are both the countries that show a good example of how other EU countries can prepare themselves beforehand for such geopolitical risks like cutoff of gas. So for the long time before, they were getting ready for this event. Basically, they diversified their supplies quite well. They have a number of alternative sources of delivery, and they have quite good reserves. So by some estimates, enough for next 3 months. So that would be enough actually to get ready for the winter. And as extra information for you, so both Poland and Bulgaria were planning to cut off and stop import of gas by the end of this year. So that was according to their already existing strategy, let's say. So they were prepared.
What can you tell us about Germany? I mean, there's some news being reported that just earlier this week, the German government did a deal with Poland to make sure that Berlin, could get more oil via Poland. And then when the Russians heard about that, they immediately reacted with putting this stoppage of supplies to Poland as a punishment. What can you tell us about Germany and its efforts to diversify? Because that's going to be a significant issue for the whole of the EU and also, of course, for Russian revenue.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to highlight that both Poland and Bulgaria are not the largest consumers of Russian gas. So they're smaller economies in comparison to Germany that consumes about 10 times more than Poland does. So when it comes to diversification and protection against cutoffs, smaller economies like Poland, Bulgaria, Baltic countries are more resilient and can afford that drastic cutoffs in comparison to Germany, much larger economy that for decades were building its economy on the assumption that Russia would be a reliable supplier of the gas. So for country like Germany or Italy, like two largest consumers of Russian gas, it would be extremely hard to let that cutoff happen in a one day, let's say. So I think Russia, by doing this, just sends a signal to larger economies like Germany and Italy to beware that Russian requirements to accept payments in rubles and threats to cut off the gas, it's not a bluff. So it's true. And they demonstrate that by these examples.
Ismayil, according to the finance ministry in Moscow, last year, Russia made $119 billion in revenue from oil and gas. And that's about 30% of the entire state budget in Russia. Isn't this all self-defeating for Moscow? Without money, I mean, its economy is going to collapse at some stage.
Yeah, you're right. So that's why at the moment, Russia, let's say, cuts off minor consumers. Let's say it can afford that. And as I said before, both Poland and Bulgaria were planning to not prolong the contract for purchase of the Russian gas. So let's say by doing this, Russia simply decided to make the first move to demonstrate its real intentions to blackmail, let's say, other countries. But it's not, let's say, reducing its export capacity by doing that significantly. So Russia still needs this foreign currency to finance its economies, to stabilize the situation in the country. So it's a very big question whether Russia would proceed actually with cutting off all the supply of gas to Europe and Germany. probably the expectations here that probably Germany will be more careful now at the moment, stop supply of military support to Ukraine, considering that it's really tied up to the Russian supply. It's not possible to quickly find the alternative solutions quickly enough. Yeah, so it's a game of chess and poker, basically. So it's a geopolitical game, and it's hard to predict how far Russia would go.
Ismayil, really, really interesting. Thank you so much. That analysis really just puts everything into context. Ismayil Jabiyev.